So, have you ever felt like something happened, someone said something, did something, and you had this reaction and you wanted to give them a piece of your mind? Well, you may have thought that was the best thing to do, but in today's show, I'm going to talk about how your silence is power and your energy is expensive. So, you want to preserve your energy. I'm going to talk to you about how when you give that energy away and you react immediately, it depletes you. So, stay tuned. You don't want to miss today's show. Your silence is power, your energy is expensive. This message is a message of healing and wisdom. A lot of times we think that when things happen that throw us off, like situations with people, situations and circumstances that come up that may get your attention, you feel the need to do something. And so you have this quick reaction. You go and you yell, you argue, you tell a person off. Let's be honest, let's get real today. Or you feel the need to give it your energy and attention, that situation, right? And so a lot of times what you do is you begin to deplete yourself as you start putting all of this energy and putting all these words to it. And sometimes it's necessary for you to remain silent. And I know you may be feeling like, no, I need to let them know. I need to tell it like it is. I need to speak my mind. But there is power in your silence. And I'm not saying just be silent, timid, and shy and just let people walk over you. I'm not saying that. But I am saying to stand strong and not giving everyone and everything your energy. To understand the power of your energy, to understand the power of your words, to understand the power of you choosing to be silent, choosing to not always try to have a sit down and a one-on-one. Sometimes it's not even necessary to have that sit down. Sometimes it's not even necessary to have that one-on-one. Because the more you try to get that person to understand you or to understand your side of things, and the more they try to get you to understand them and understand their side of things, you still stay in that same space. But if you will remain silent and preserve yourself, preserve your energy, preserve your wisdom, preserve your knowledge, preserve the words that you have. I love the scripture that talks about not arguing with foolish people or not arguing with a fool. It's like casting your pearls into a pig swine, into the mud and the dirt. It's like casting out your pearls when you're trying to get them to see your side. You're trying to win them over through wisdom, through words of wisdom. It's not always necessary for you to do that. It's not always necessary for you to give them your expensive energy. See, your energy is expensive. Your energy is valuable. Your energy is what fuels you. A lot of you are out here just giving away your energy to people, situations, and things, and you feel depleted, and you feel tired, and you feel drained, and you feel hopeless because you've been putting all this energy out when it's not for you to just give away. See, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So you start to put your attention on situations that you don't like, or you put your attention on people that have done you wrong, or you put your attention on circumstances that weren't favorable for you. And what happens when you put your attention on these things? Your energy follows. Your energy follows. And so those things take your energy. But your energy is expensive. You got to understand how valuable you are as a spiritual being, and understanding the sacredcy of who you are, the sacredcy of your being, mind, body, and spirit. And when it's time for you to say, you know what, I'm not even going to say anything. I'm not even going to try to fix this issue. I'm not going to give you the privilege of taking my precious energy. I'm not going to give you the privilege of depleting me of the sacredcy of who I am as a spiritual being. I'm not going to give you that privilege. And you like, how dare they? What makes them think they could do this? Who does that? Well, I need to tell them so. I need to talk to them. I need to let them know. No, you don't. Your silence is power. Your energy is expensive. Be careful how you spend it. Step back. You might need some time to cool off, because a lot of times people want to respond so quick, they don't even give themselves a chance to cool down and really to get some insight and some guidance and really tap into the Holy Spirit and really be led and really understand what God is leading you to in the situation. Instead of you doing that, you want to react. So you got to get out of the habit of reacting and just giving away your precious energy and giving away all of that attention, all of your words. Giving away your words. You doing all this talking. You trying to figure it out. You trying to get closure. But you talking and it's going in a circle. It's not getting anywhere. They're saying what they're saying. You saying what you're saying. And it's not leading to any resolution. And so you got to understand that it's time for you to silence yourself. See, there is power in silence. There is power when you begin to just take your situations into your meditation room and you just begin to bring them to God and you begin to just allow the force energy and the presence and the power of God to really saturate and lead and guide you and show you what to do and what not to do. And you know how to have self-control. You know how to preserve yourself. You know how to hold yourself back from just going, depleting yourself, not knowing that you're hurting yourself. So you think you're telling them off and you think you're setting them right when actually you're depleting yourself. You're actually putting yourself on the same level energy that they're on. See, if you know a person is wrong and they doing you wrong and they in this low level energy and they wrong for what they doing and you like, how dare you? I need to tell you, I need you to know how to do right. No, because what happens is when you try to do that, you just lower your own energy. You lower yourself down. And then when it's over, you feel worse. You feel bad. You feel drained. You feel depleted. You feel like you just went through a terrible battle or something. So you got to preserve your energy, preserve your mind, body, and spirit, preserve your emotions. You got to know how to win the battles and situations in life through trust and faith that God is working everything together for your good, that you don't have to fight your battles, that you don't have to talk your way through it. You don't have to argue your way through it. You don't have to fight your way through it. You can preserve yourself, preserve your energy, preserve your mind, body, and spirit, and sit back and allow that situation to unfold. When you learn to be more observant and you just sit back and you watch things and you watch people and you watch situations, you'll begin to see that people will show you who they are if you're just a little more observant. And you don't even have to do much. Just listen. Just observe. You don't have to say anything. You kind of can feel some things because you know intuition. You have that intuition. But the more you just sit back in silence and you allow that intuition to work through, and you allow people to just unfold and show you who they are. And you're not trying to get them to be a certain way. And you're not trying to get on their level and try to go back and forth with them. But you're just allowing yourself to be observant, to just let things play out, to just see things for what they really are. When you hold yourself back from always having to say something and do something, and you preserve your energy, you have more wisdom to sit back and see things for what they really are. And you have more wisdom to not be deceived by what's going on. Because that's what happens. You get deceived because you're so busy trying to fight your own battles when you're not called to do that. You try to fight your battles of your loved ones when you see somebody do them wrong and you like, no, you're not going to say this to my family. You try to fight fight their battles. You try to fight your battles. You try to fight everybody's battle. And then you see your spirit is in a constant battle. And you don't understand why you're so tired, why you feel so drained all the time, why you feel so fatigued all the time. You're not understanding the energy that you're constantly putting out that's depleting you because you're constantly trying to fight things when it's not for you to fight. See, sometimes it's best to just be quiet and allow God to work. Just allow for things to unfold. See, we always think that we have to be in control of things and we have to do things and we have to change things and manipulate things when it's not for us to do. It's for us to allow, to let go and allow, to stop trying to be the one that's fighting all the battles. All right? So, your silence is power. Your energy is expensive. Some people are out here waiting for you to get into that battle with them. They're wanting it. They're wanting it. They're wanting your energy. They want to deplete you of your energy. They want you to sink to their level. Then they feel like they got you. Then they feel like they won. Then they feel like, yes, now you can't be that happy person you thought you were because they want you to meet them where they are. But you got to understand the importance of preserving your energy. I want to share Sis Be Nicer to Yourself, the book. Pre-order your copy. Guess what? Everyone who were the early bird pre-orders are going to get their book before the release date. The release is September 28th, and I'm super excited about this book. All about sabotaging your relationships, health, finances, and career, and not even being aware of it. How you can self-sabotage your situation. So you can pre-order your copy at sisbenicertoyourself.com. We're going to go ahead and get these questions answered. So let's connect. I'm going to have my husband Patrick join us.
How important it is to be able to take control of your words, to have a moment to be able to sit back and be slow to speak.
Yes.
And quick to listen, slow to wrath, because sometimes we put ourselves in a position where we entangle ourselves with an energy we don't even want to be connected with, not recognizing that we are a representation of God and His Holy Spirit, and we want to be able to present ourselves in such a way that isn't always super reactive to temporary situations. And moments come and go, but we can, at a moment's notice, we can mess up our reputation by trying to be right, reacting quickly, or trying to take up for somebody else dealing with something that we probably should be talking to them about in the first place. But, you know, being so quick to dive into stuff can be a hindrance. For us to maintain the energy and flow that we desire for our lives. One of the questions I see here, how do you become silent with also dealing with past trauma?
The best thing for you to do when you're dealing with trauma is to really get silent. And the reason why I say that is because you're healing and you're dealing with some emotional pain. You trying to speak your way out and try to convince people and get people to know and talk to people and going back and forth, it can make the trauma worse. It can make the emotional pain even worse. You really want to protect yourself as you're healing from this trauma and not engage in those arguments and those disagreements and those things that deplete you of your energy because you just realize how important it is to preserve your energy. So you want to just walk away from situations. If you feel like people are trying to engage in arguments and you know you're in a place of healing and you're really delicate and sensitive right now emotionally, you want to walk away, remove yourself, create boundaries that protect yourself, that protect your peace and guard your heart. You really want to protect yourself from any of those things because you're really in a delicate place right now. So you really want to really nurture yourself, just like a patient in the hospital. You know, they tell that patient to rest more and to relax when they're recovering. You're recovering from trauma. So you got to pay attention emotionally and mentally how that is impacting you.
Oftentimes we have an attachment to that experience. And when situations come up, there are moments where it can be a challenge to say, I realize what I went through. I didn't like that experience in the past, so now I'm trying to figure out a way to avoid that in the future. In the process of avoiding it, you can be fighting and putting yourself in a delicate spot to where you can't just allow and you can't just sit back and be silent. It's so hard because you're attached to that past moment. Sometimes we have to speak to ourselves in those moments to say, be quiet. I don't want to go through this again. Like, I don't want to be in a position where I'm still experiencing those emotions that I felt when I was dealing with the trauma. I want to be in a place of peace, in a place of joy beyond what I felt when I was originally experiencing it.
Yeah, it's like making a decision that you are going to feel good. Making a decision that I'm going to feel strong and I'm going to heal. I'm healing. I'm strong. I'm loving. I'm kind. Just making that decision like this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to wait to see how I'm going to feel, but I'm going to make the decision to move forward in how I desire to be and to feel. And I'm going to protect myself in this process.
Oftentimes, anxiety comes from a future-oriented mindset where you're trying to figure out how things will be in the future and whether you're trying to control it and make it happen or you're trying to control it and avoid certain situations. You put yourself in a moment, in a thought process of just uncertainty. The key to overcoming those moments of trauma, anxiety, and even being able to just allow, not trying to be in so much control over how people think, how people respond, and even at times controlling the fact that you don't want to experience the same thing you've experienced in the past,
Yeah.
But just putting yourself in a place where you're allowing the flow of God in and out of your life so that you can gain and receive the peace and all the things that you desire without so much stress over controlling every particular moment. I have another question here. What could it mean when some people don't reach back out to you when you're trying to invite them somewhere or basically build a friendship? Like, I have noticed that some people don't care to build a friendship these days. Should I worry about that? Because sometimes I guess I pick the wrong people to hang out with.
They're telling you how they are with their actions. So if you're reaching out and you want to be friends and they're not responding, they're basically telling you they don't want the same thing. So just respect that and move on and not take it personally, not feel like it's something wrong with you because of that. Everybody is not for everybody. You may not like everybody. You may not connect with everybody. And that's okay. You are divine. You are unique in your own way. But there are people who will connect with you, who really love who you are as a person. And that's what you focus on. Focus on being around people that want to connect with you and celebrate life with you and enjoy life with you and connect with who you are as the person that you are, the authentic person that you are. Like, you don't have to be somebody else or please somebody or get somebody's approval. Just be who you are. And if that relationship is not for you, just cut it off. Just like, okay, this is not for me.
Yeah. And the way that they respond to you doesn't always have to do with you. The way that they respond to you could be based on things that they're dealing with in their own lives. So that's why if something is repeated over and over again, that too is an indication that they're not interested in the same thing that you're interested in.
Yeah, and you can't force people to be a certain way.
Yeah.
You can't force people to like you, to treat you a certain way. If you see they're not giving you the same energy, just, go ahead and create that distance and move forward, because that means there are other people who connect with you better, who are more compatible with you, that you could be making room for.
How do you stay away from situations or conversations that will engage you into gossip when you feel the Holy Spirit leading you away from conversations that are not edifying, especially when you're trying to be delivered in that area so that you won't hurt others by how you think or what you say about someone?
the best thing to do is to change the subject. If somebody is getting ready to gossip and they're getting ready to talk about another person and you feel uncomfortable, change the subject, remove yourself from the conversation, talk about something. The thing is with conversations, whoever has the most dominant energy often leads the conversation. So if you make sure you keep your positive energy dominant, and that person, if they're getting negative, don't join in with their negative talking. If you start off positive and you continue in that positive way and you want to talk about wonderful things that are going on and they're not trying to talk about that, then you may have to say, you know what, I gotta go, I'm gonna have to call you back. Or, if you can't change the subject, if they want to bring it back, just remove yourself from that conversation, or just let them know, you know what, I'm really working on some things right now in my life, and you know how much I love you and I love our conversations, but I'm really dealing with some spiritual healing and I'm not really comfortable having these type of conversations in this season. So if you could respect that, I appreciate it. If not, that's not something you want to keep engaging in because you're uncomfortable with it and it's unsettling in your spirit. So just be aware of that. Remove yourself from it.
You got to be watchful. You got to protect your peace. You don't always want to engage in certain things. And if you already know you're working on some stuff and people coming up and bringing up situations that you're not even trying to entertain, it's like, you know what, I'm going to have to hit y'all back. I got something to do. How do you talk to someone with the victim mentality? And if you stay silent, they accuse you of stonewalling.
You being silent is power. A person with a victim mindset, you don't need to convince them of anything. See, a lot of times we think we need to help and fix, and we need to tell them they have a victim mindset, or we need to tell them you shouldn't say this or you shouldn't do this. That's not always our job. Sometimes it's best for us to allow them to figure it out on their own. Be loving towards them, caring towards them, be the example of showing how not to have a victim mindset and inspiring in the way that you live your life. But to try to help and change and fix people who aren't really trying to go there with you, that's not for you to do. That's when your silence is power, whether they want you, like you to be silent or not. You don't always have to be silent, but you don't always have to also try to change who they are or try to help. We do that with loved ones because we really want them to get better. We really want things, but we end up lowering ourselves to that same energy when we try to do that, versus this is their life and their lesson to learn. And some people, it takes beyond the conversation from their loved one to really get it that I'm being a victim. They got to go through some life situations before it click. And then they know I'm definitely being a victim. I need to change this. I need to change the way I've been thinking. I know me personally, when I came to that revelation of years ago, when I realized some of the things I was doing and believing, how I was having that victim mindset, it was a revelation that I had to come to. It wasn't something that somebody told me and then I said, okay, you're right. But it was my own inner revelation that I had to walk that path to get there and get to that place. And some people aren't ready. But some people like you who are ready, you can listen to messages like this and you're like, yes, this is helping me. I know where I am. I know what I need to change. But everybody's not ready for that. Yeah. Everybody's not ready to listen to motivational messages and get the help. They don't feel the need to. And sometimes you just got to be patient with their process of life. Love them, love on them, encourage them, but you don't have to try to fix that situation.
Yeah. And sometimes we may see people going through things, having a mindset and an idea and an identity, and we got the answers and we got the information, but it's something that they're not ready to receive yet. And therefore they don't get it. They might not understand it. And even in the midst of you being silent, or you can be communicating things to them, it don't matter. It don't matter how you approach it, because it's something that needs to be revealed within them that needs to be answered. At the end of the day, you got to protect your peace, guard your heart, and make sure that you're not putting yourself in a position where you're expensing all of your energy trying to communicate some type of understanding to someone who realistically needs to receive that from another place. How do you move forward when you lose your significant other by tragic accident, but people accuse you of killing them?
Well, first of all, I want to send my condolence and my thoughts and prayers to you and your family. I want to also let you know that it's not your fault. Our life is in God's hands, and sometimes we don't understand why things happen the way that they do. I can feel just from your question, your love and your care, and then the mourning of losing your loved one and then feeling the blame behind it. I really want to encourage you to work on your healing, to focus on distancing yourself from anyone who wants to place blame on you as you mourn and heal the loss of your loved one. Distance yourself from anyone who wants you to feel guilty, because that's not healthy. That's not healthy energy. And your loved one, I'm sure, wants you to be happy and healthy and to enjoy your life. I just want to encourage you to really work on focusing on healing and mourning your loss and really doing it in a healthy way, separating from toxic energy, toxic people. Those people may not understand. And sometimes when people deal with loss, they look for things to blame. It's not so much that they really believe it's your fault. Sometimes people are looking for something or someone to blame, an explanation, because they don't understand, because they're dealing with it too. Don't take it personally. They're hurting. You're hurting. Different people are hurting. Really focus on healing and being patient with your healing process, because it is a process. That's very important, that you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And separate yourself from anyone who wants to put that blame and that energy on you and make you feel even worse while you mourn the loss of your loved one.
Because nobody knows what you're dealing with, what you're going through. There are always multiple perspectives to similar situations, but just be sure to go through the healing process and be patient with yourself in the process. Because it's not an easy thing to overcome, when you lose loved ones that are really, really close to you.
Yes. Surround yourself with positivity, positive messages, things that feed you, that build you up, that encourage you. Because right now anything negative, if somebody calling you, don't answer. Anything negative, you feel like this negative energy, people are coming against you. Separate yourself from that. Just really focus on protecting your peace, guarding your heart while you're healing, while you're mourning, all of that stuff. Preserve your energy.
Yes.
And I'm praying for you. You're going to get through this. You're going to come out even stronger. I believe it. Awesome. Love you guys so much. So join us live on Facebook and Instagram at 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. We love you so much. Send it. If you want to email your questions to support@RainieHoward.com. Also, listen to our podcast on YouTube, also on any podcast platform. We love you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll see you in the next show. Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in. We really enjoyed this show today. Listen, I want to hear from you. How will you begin to protect your peace by being more silent and guarding your energy? Let me know in the comments. Also, be sure to subscribe to our channel and like and share our messages with others. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you in the next show.